Hi, myself Fayaj, aptitude trainer from DURGASOFT. Today I am going to discuss about one of the important topic, that is time and work. So time and work, if you look at different patterns, whether it is a government related competitive exams or a banking or campus recruitment training, so this topic plays major role. So whether it is for banking or competitive exams or campus recruitment training, so in any kind of exams we can expect the major role of this concept. So that's why it is one of the important topic from the arithmetic. So today we are going to discuss about that important topic. Now let's discuss in detail. So time and work. So when you look at this particular topic, so we can expect a different type of questions. First, let me tell you what are the different type of questions we can expect from this topic, so that you will have some idea about the type of questions we can expect. For example, if I take the first type, when A and B can complete a particular work individually by taking 10 days and 15 days, now we need to calculate the time taken by them together to complete the same work. Like when A and B 10 days and 15 days, now we need to calculate the time taken by A and B together. And if not, A, B, C. Suppose A 10 days, B 12 days and C 15 days. Now we need to calculate the time taken by A, B, C all together. If not, so there will be 5 different persons where they can complete the task individually by taking some time. Now we need to calculate the time taken by them all together. If not, there will be 20 men and 15 women. They are taking the same time 12 days to complete a work. Now we need to calculate the time taken by a group of men and women. So like this, we need to calculate the time taken by a group of men or women or any other persons. So these type of questions we can expect. And the next time, when we are having a group of men, suppose 40 men can complete a particular task in 15 days by working 8 hours a day. Now if I take 24 men to complete the same task, how far? So how many days they will take to complete the same work by spending 4 hours a day? So like this, we are having different type of questions. Now we are going to discuss about all those type of questions now. So this topic, time and work, generally we can solve in different methods. For example, I can take it in one day work method. If not, there is another method that is related to units of work. So we can solve in different methods. Anyhow, I am going to explain both the methods. First, let me explain a one day work method. In one day work method, we are going to concentrate on the amount of work will be completed by any one particular person or a group of men or women, a group of persons. That is, when A can complete a work in 2 days, so when he can complete the total work in 2 days, now in 1 day he can complete 1/2 half of the work. Now when I can take B can complete the same total work in 5 days, now I can take 1 day work for B as 1/5. In the same way, when I am having a person who can complete the total work in 10 days, now the amount of work completed by C in 1 day is 1/10. So in this way, when I am having a person, suppose a person P can complete a work in X days. When the person can complete a work in X days, then 1 day work of him is always equals to 1/x. That means whenever a person takes X days to complete a work, so 1 day work of that person is always equals to 1 by X. For example, now I can say that John can complete a work in 42 days. So from this, what I can understand is in 1 day he can complete 1 by 42. So in that way we can decide the 1 day work of any person. Now vice versa, when a person can complete half of the work in 1 day, it gives us the total time for him to complete the work as 2 days. In the same way, when B can complete 1 by 5th of the work in 1 day, now he takes 5 days to complete the work. In the same way, C can take 10 days to complete the work. Now in the same way, when a person is taking 1 by X parts of the work in 1 day, he can complete the total work in X days. So by depending upon this particular point, now we are going to solve particular type of questions from this topic. So let me tell you how we are going to depend upon this particular point. So clearly here we need 2 points, that is whenever a person can complete work in X days, suppose total time to complete the work is X days. Now 1 day work is equals to 1 by X. So this is the point what we are going to depend upon. In the same way, when 1 day work is equals to 1 by Y, so that implies here total time for him to complete the work is Y days. So in this way we can solve most of the questions by depending upon this particular point. Now I am going to take some examples to show you how we can depend upon this point to solve the most of the questions. Now A can complete a work in 10 days. B can complete the same work in 15 days. Now, if they are working together, so in what time they can complete the same work? Here the question is, A can complete a particular work in 10 days and B in 15 days. If A and B are working together, in what time they can complete the same work? That is the given question. Now I need to decide the time taken by A and B together to complete the work. Now for that I am going to consider the previous point, that is 1 day work of a person, to decide the total time. Now I want to decide the time taken by A and B together to complete the total work. For that, first of all we need to calculate 1 day work of these two persons together. Now let's see how we are going to get that 1 day work of this particular persons. Now when A can complete the total work in 10 days and B in 15 days, so what it indicates is 1 day work of this person is 1 by 10 and 1 day work of this person is 1 by 15. So 1 day work of A is 1 by 10, 1 day work of B is 1 by 15. So now we are having 1 day work of A and 1 day work of B, from which we can calculate 1 day work of A and B together. So 1 day work of A and B is equals to 1 day work of A plus 1 day work of B. So clearly 1 day work of A is 1 by 10 plus 1 day work of B is 1 by 15. Now if we calculate this, LCM is 30. So 3 plus 2, which means 5 by 30. So it indicates 1 by 6. So 1 day work of A and B is 1 by 6. From this, what we can conclude is the total time required by A and B to complete the work is the total time required by A and B is 6 days, because 1 day work is 1 by 6. So like this, we are depending upon 1 day work to complete this particular question. So whenever we are having a particular situation to decide the total time taken by a group of persons, so first of all we need to calculate 1 day work of that group, and from that we can conclude the total time. So this is one example, so where we can solve. Now let me give you the next case where we are calculating the total time by taking the same 1 day work. This is only for 2 persons. Suppose if I am having 3 persons, like A can complete total work in 10 days, B can complete the same work in 15 days, and C in 15 days. Now my question is, what is the time taken by A, B and C all together? So let me give you once again. A can complete a particular task in 10 days, B in 12 days and C in 15 days when they are working individually. Now if A, B, C are working as a group all together, so in what time they can complete the same work? For this we are going to follow the same procedure. That is, we need to first of all calculate 1 day work of A, B, C all together. When we know 1 day work of A, B, C all together, we can decide the total time taken by them to complete the work. Now for that the procedure is same. So here I want 1 day work of A. We know that whenever A takes X days, 1 day work is 1 by X. So from this 1 day work is equals to 1 by 10, and for B it is 1 by 12 and C 1 by 15. So when we are having 1 day work of A, B, C alone, now I can calculate 1 day work of A, B, C all together, which is equals to 1 by 10 plus 1 by 12 plus 1 by 15. So from this we can calculate this value as 10, 12, 15. LCM of these numbers are 60. So 6 times, 5 times, 4 times. So 15 by 60 or 1 by 4. So what it is? It is exactly 1 day work of A, B, C all together. So from this, in 1 day, A plus B plus C all together can complete 1 by 4th of the work. So which means A, B, C requires 4 days to complete the total work. So in this way we can conclude the time taken by A, B, C to complete the same task when they are working all together. So it is by taking the 1 day work method. Now let me show you how I can get the same answer, how I can solve the same question by taking the other method, that is units method. So when I consider the work in terms of units, I can get the same answer. For that I am going to here explain the other method. So we can take alternative method for the same process now. So once again look at the question. The question is A, B, C can complete a task in 10 days, 12 days and 15 days when they are working alone. If the same task should be completed by A, B, C all together, so what is the time taken by them to complete the work? Now the other method, as I said, units method. So in this, first of all we need to decide the total work what they are doing. So the total work will be decided by these numbers. That means take the total work as the LCM of these numbers. For ABC, the time taken by them is given as 10 days, 12 days and 15 days. Now let's take the LCM of these days as total work. So total work they are doing here is equals to LCM of 10, 12, 15. So LCM of 10, 12, 15, which is equals to 60. So I am going to take the total work as 60 units. Now the total work 60 units. Now once again, if you look at this particular information, A can complete a task in 10 days. That means the total work of 60 units will be completed by A in 10 days. So from this 10 days, 60 units of work in one day. Now A can complete 6 units of work, because 10 days 60 units, and from this one day is equals to 60 by 10 will get us 6 units. So in this way, one day work of A is 6 units, one day work of B is 60 by 12, which will get us the answer as 5 units, and for C 60 by 15, 4 units. Now I got one day work of ABC in terms of units. Now when ABC are working all together, A alone can complete 6 units in one day, B alone in 1 day he can complete 5 units, C alone can complete 4 units in 1 day. Now ABC are working all together means 6 units plus 5 units plus 4 units will be completed by them all together. So one day work of ABC all together is 6 plus 5 plus 4 units. That means 15 units. Now ABC can complete 15 units in one day, but the question was what is the time they required to complete the total time. Now here for 15 units they required 1 day, and to complete the total work is nothing but for 60 units how much time they required. So from this we can get the answer as 60 by 15, which means 4 days. So in this way we can complete the same question in terms of units method. So where we are getting the same answer. So whether you take units method or 1 day work method, in both the methods you will get the same answer. So ABC can complete that work in 4 days. So it is units based methods. Hope it is clear. So for any question we can follow any of these two methods. It depends upon you. If you like this, you can go by units method. If not, you can follow the previous 1 day work method. Now, so based on the same concept, there will be another type of question. So that is, let me give you the question first. A and B can complete a work in 10 days. B and C together can complete the work in 12 days, and C and A can complete the work in 20 days. The question is, A and B together can complete a task in 10 days, B and C can complete the task in 12 days, and C and A can complete the same task in 20 days. Now, if A, B, C all together working as a group, then how much time they require to complete the same work? So, we know the time taken by A and B together, B and C together, and C and A together. But here my question is, when A, B, C are working all together, so all the 3 persons are working here together. So, what is the time required by them? Now, you can solve the same question in 2 different methods. Suppose if it is in 1 day work method, how we can solve this? In 1 day work method, we need to decide 1 day work of A, B, C. So, when you know the 1 day work of A, B, C, the reciprocal of that fraction will get us the total time required by them for that. So, let us start the process. We know that A, B, C can complete the work in 10 days. Now, from this, A and B together can complete. So, total work in 10 days, in 1 day they can complete 1 by 10. In the same way, B and C. So, B and C together takes 12 days to complete the work. That means in 1 day, B and C can complete 1 by 12. Now, C and A. So, C and A, total work in 20 days. Now, 1 day work is 1 by 20. Now, if I add all these 3 equations, A plus B plus B plus C plus C plus A. Here, what is A, what is B means 1 day work of A. So, we considered 1 day work of A as A and 1 day work of B as B. So, A plus B get us 1 day work of A and B together. So, 1 day work of A and B together, B and C together, C and A. So, when I add A plus B plus B plus C plus C plus A means we will get 2A plus 2B plus 2C. For them, it is 1 by 10 plus 1 by 12 plus 1 by 20. Of A plus 2 times of B plus 2 times of C is equals to 1 by 10 plus 1 by 12 plus 1 by 20. From this, if I take 2 common, A plus B plus C is giving us LCM is 60. So, 10 6 times plus 12 5 times plus 23 times. So, 11 plus 3, which means 14 by 60. So, this will get us the value as 14 by 60 is nothing but 7 by 30, which is equals to 2 times of A plus B plus C. And from this, I can take A plus B plus C as 7 by 30 into 1 by 2, because 2 times of this is equals to 7 by 30, and from this we will get this value. And now 7 by 60 is equals to 1 day work of A plus B plus C, and this will get us the total time required by them to complete the work is equals to 60 by 7 days. So, 60 by 7, or we can take it as 8, 7 8 is 56, so 4 by 7 days. So, 8 days, 8 4 by 7 days what they require to complete the total work. So, now in this way, whenever they are asking us to complete the same work by ABC, we can complete that particular work by ABC in 8 4 by 7 days. Now, for the same question, sometimes how they can ask is, instead of ABC all together, the same work will be completed by only A or only B or only C. That means A alone, B alone or C alone. So, for that, what we required is, suppose if I ask B alone, now the same work will be completed by B alone, and for that I want the time. Now, in this case also, first of all, we need to calculate 1 day work of ABC, which is 7 by 60. So, when we know 1 day work of ABC as 7 by 60, now we can calculate the time taken by B alone. So, that is, we know that 1 day work of A plus B plus C is equals to 7 by 60, and from this I want the time taken by B alone, that's why I am taking A and C aside here, which is equals to 7 by 60. From this B plus A plus C is nothing but 1 day work of A plus C, which is given as 1 by 20. So which is equals to 7 by 60, and from this B is equals to 7 by 60 minus 1 by 20, which means 60 is the LCM. So 7 times, so 3 times 4 by 60. So here LCM is 60, so 7 and 3 times 7 minus 3, 4 by 60, and from this we can understand 1 day work of A as 1 by 15. So 1 day work of B is 1 by 15 means now B alone can complete the total work in 15 days. So this is what we required, because whenever 1 day work of a person is 1 by X, we know that the total time is X days. So in this way the total time required by B alone to complete the same task is 15 days. So in this case we calculated B alone. Tomorrow we need to calculate A alone or C alone. In that case also the same procedure we need to follow. Here B plus A plus C substituted. Suppose if I ask A alone, here what I can do is A plus, we need to substitute B plus C 1 day work, which is given as 1 by 12. If not, if I want C alone, for C alone, C plus A plus B. So 1 day work of A plus B is given as 1 by 10. So like that, whenever we require B alone, A alone or C alone time, we can substitute the remaining part in this equation. So whether it is A alone or B alone or C alone or all together, first of all we need to calculate 1 day work of A, B, C all together. So first of all you need to focus on this. Whenever these type of questions are given, you need to add 1 day work of A and B together, and B and C and A, where you will get 1 day work of A, B, C all together. Once we get that, we can solve any required value, whether it is alone or all together. So this is how we can solve this. Till now we discussed something like when A and B are working together, or B and C along with A all together, or when A and B together and B and C or C and A all together. Here when they are working, so we calculated the required. Now the other case where suppose 12 boys can complete a work in 10 days and 8 girls can complete the same work in 10 days. Now I want the time taken by 4 boys and 2 girls. Now 12 boys can complete a work in 10 days, or 8 girls can complete the same work in 10 days. But now I am taking 4 boys and 2 girls as a group. For this group we need to calculate the time taken by them to complete the same task. Now for that the procedure will be same in 1 day work method. So in 1 day work method we need to calculate 1 day work of this group. So to calculate 1 day work of 4 boys and 2 girls, first of all we need to calculate 1 day work of 4 boys and 1 day work of 2 girls. So all together we will get the 1 day work of this group. That means first I should calculate 1 day work of a boy and a girl, so that I can substitute for this group. Now let us see how we can calculate 1 day work of a boy and a girl. Now it is clearly given that 12 boys can complete the total work in 10 days. When 12 boys can complete the total work in 10 days, now a boy can complete the same task in 120 days. Because when the number of boys decreases, now the number of days increases, because the number of men or boys is inversely proportional to number of days. When we are having less number of boys, obviously it will take more number of days for them to complete the same work. That's why it is 10 into 12, 120 days. So a boy can complete a work in 120 days. That indicates 1 day work of a boy as 1 by 120, because when a boy can complete a work in x days, 1 day work is 1 by x. In the same way, a boy can complete the total task in 120 days. So 1 day work by him is equals to 1 by 120. Now in the same way, girls, 8 girls can complete a work in 10 days. Now for one girl, it is 8 into 10, 80 days. So a girl can complete a work in 80 days. That means 1 day work of a girl is equals to 1 by 80. So from this we can calculate the required 1 day work of the group. So this group contains 4 boys and 2 girls. So 4 boys, for a boy it is 1 by 120, and coming to 4 boys, so 4 times of 1 by 120, and so plus we need 1 day work of 2 girls. For a girl it is 1 by 80, and for 2 girls 2 into 1 by 80. So this is the 1 day work of this group. So 1 day work of this group is equals to 4 into 1 by 20 will get us 1 by 30 plus 1 by 40. So it indicates the value as, if I take 120 as the LCM, so 4 times plus 3 times, so which is equals to 7 by 120. So 7 by 120 is the 1 day work of this group. So when 1 day work of this group is 7 by 120, this will get us the total time as 120 by 7 days. So this is how we can calculate the total time taken by this group. So simply we are calculating 1 day work of this group. First we calculated 1 day work for a boy and 1 day work for a girl. So from this we are substituting in this group for 4 boys and 2 girls. All together we are getting 1 day work of this group, and from 1 day work we are calculating the total time, which is 120 by 7 days, or even you can substitute the answer in terms of mixed fraction. So 7 in 120, you can take the mixed fraction. So this is how we can solve this particular question by taking 1 day work method. Now when you look at this given question, here the time for boys and girls is same, but the number of boys or the girls, these two are different. For these type of questions we can solve easily without this much of procedure. So now let me show you how I can solve the same question. Now the question is simply 12 boys or 8 girls can complete the work in 10 days. So 10 boys in 10 days, 8 girls in 10 days. That means for 12 boys or 8 girls the time is same. Now we want the time taken by 4 boys and 2 girls. So what is the time? To calculate this, unlike the previous procedure, so I am going to give you the direct answer. So how I can get the answer directly? The number of days is equals to, here if you look at these two statements, the first statement given here is like 12 boys or 8 girls, which is equals to 10 days, and 4 boys and 2 girls, which is equals to, here we need to calculate. So to calculate that, let's see how I am going to take the values. The first one is a statement which is having OR, the second statement is having AND. Now when you are having two statements, one is with OR and the other one is having AND, now I will take the answer directly. Take all the numbers from the OR statement, that is 12 boys means 12 multiplied by 8 girls, 8 and 10 days, so multiplied by 10 by, now multiply the number of boys in the first statement to the number of girls in the second, so 12 into 2, 24 plus, so multiply the girls in the first statement with the boys in the second, so 8 into 4, 32. So this is the answer what we required. So 12 8 is 96 plus 10, so 960 by 24 plus 32, 56. If I cancel 8, so 8 12 is, so 120 by, here also 8 7 is, so this is what I am getting, which is same answer we are getting. So instead of doing the entire process, here I am getting the answer directly, 120 by 7 days. That means this shortcut is applicable whenever we are having the statements like the first statement should have OR, the number of days should be same, like for 12 boys or 8 girls the number of days should be same. If it is not same, we cannot take it like that. So here for 4 boys and 2 girls we required, we will apply the shortcut directly. Now sometimes instead of giving only boys and girls separately, they will give us here in terms of groups, like 5 boys 6 girls as a group, and they will give us the time. And another combination, suppose let me take that type of question. Now suppose for 2 boys and 3 girls, 2 boys and 3 girls, they required 12 days. Now if I am having 4 boys and 5 girls, 4 boys and 5 girls, they required 8 days. Now what is the time taken by one boy to complete the same work? Now for this the procedure will be same. We need to calculate here 1 day work of a boy, and from that we should calculate the total time, and for that 2 boys and 3 girls, total 12 days. That's why 2 boys and 3 girls 1 day work is equals to 1 by 12, and here 4 boys and 5 girls 1 day work is equals to 1 by 8. Now if we look at the numbers here, if I take here boys, here 2 boys and here 4 boys, so I can cancel boys, or even you can cancel girls also, 3 girls 5 girls. If I multiply this equation with 5 and this equation by 3, we will get the required boys.